So let's continue with the stairs. First let's switch off the layers we don't need, which is going to be layers 2 until 8 from the 2D and 3D layers. And also let's make the 2D layer, the ground floor layer, but the stairs, let's make that on the current one, because first we're going to draw some 2D lines. Nice. Okay, let's switch to the top view, because it's a little bit more easy to draw the lines. And also let's switch on the first floor picture frame, as it will guide us where the stair starts and ends. Okay, let's first start with the ramp area, where you enter the building and then directly to the left, the big ramp. So let's first draw the top line, which is going to be a control point curve. Make sure your project button is on, so we nicely draw in the same plane. And let's finish up the last line with a simple polyline. Let's join them together. Okay, so the one on the bottom, let's use like a simple polyline with an arc in the middle, because it seems like a regular arc. Now let's run the fillet command. And let's give it a radius of more or less 6. So if we go to our perspective view, first let's switch off the picture frame again, because we won't be needing it anymore for now. And as you remember, the entrance area we moved it 1.5 meters down, because the entrance area is a little lower than the rest. So we need to move our lines also a little bit down. So simply select them and use the gumball to move them down. So we're going to use a command that's called the curve to view, which basically uses two lines in two different planes and takes more or less the average, so you get a nice 3D curve in the end. It's a little bit hard to explain, but I hope it's going to be clear in a second. First you need to draw an extra line, so let's draw a simple polyline, and that polyline we need to draw it from the start of the stair to the end of the stair. Oh, let's switch off our project. So from here more or less to here. And also for the other side. Okay, so those were the two lines. Now let's select both lines, the 4 lines we drew from the stair, and let's move them out a little bit, so it's a little bit more easy for them, for you guys to see what's going to happen, and also for me to select the lines when I run the command. Okay, so let's start with these two lines. The only thing is that the curve to view command only works with two lines that are in the same in flat on the plane, let's say. So this one is already set because it's flat on the XY plane, but this one is a little bit rotated, as you can see here in the top view. So we need to rotate the two lines so that this line is going to line up with the XZ plane. So simply select them and execute the rotate command. So more or less like this. Now let's go to 4 views. And let's execute the curve to view. It's called curve to view. And it asks us to select the first curve, which is going to be the one in the top view. And the other one is going to be the one in the front view. Now if you go back again to perspective, you see that the result of those two curves was the curve that got nicely drawn in 3D, which goes from the beginning of the stair to the end. That's exactly what we want. The only thing missing is to rotate them back to the original position. Let's continue to the other two lines. First, we need to, before we rotate them, we need to draw an extra line so we remember the angle of rotation. So we can simply draw a line from the start somewhere until here. Now select the two lines again, of the whole lines in general. Execute the rotate command. So the same procedure as before. Let's switch to the 4 views. And let's execute the curve to view command again. So the first curve again is our flat curve on the XY plane. And the other one is going to be the one in the front view, which is this one. Now let's go back again to perspectives to see what happened. And so you see it's the same result as before. You got a nicely, gradually sloping line. The only thing missing is to rotate them back, so let's do that. Now we're going to use our line we previously drawn, so we know exactly the position it had before. If you hold Shift, it will snap to certain angles. So, or you can either use Ortho, which also does the same thing. So let's delete our line. We won't be needing it right now. Great. So let's move the lines back into position. We move them 50 units out, so we can just move them 50 units back by simply using the gumball again. And these two lines, we move them 100 units. The only thing missing is to make it a solid, which is going to be quite easy. We can simply use the loft command. Let's see how that turns out. The geometry doesn't look that distorted, so that's fine. And we can use the offset surface command to give it a little bit of a thickness. As you see, the direction is set to face up, but we want it to offset downwards, so simply click on the surface and you see the arrows pointing down, so that's nice. The distance we want it to be the same as the level, so let's use 50 centimeters. Great, so that's that. The only thing missing is to move it to the 3D layer, so we don't mix up our 2D and 3D lines. Okay, great guys. Next section, we're going to continue with the other stairs that are left over in the ground and first floor. Those are going to be a little bit more fast.